No, this is a made-up situation. At school, some prep called me the emo freak, and I almost got in a fight. But Sean held me back and told the girl to leave me alone. It was kind of funny because the girl he told that to liked him.
Baby, I made up fictitious scenarios in middle school too. I don't believe it. I do not believe it, my friend. No, bestie. Whoa, what was that one? I'm sorry I keep rewinding, but the ones that she flashes by very quickly, I think that she did it. These chapters are not, I hate the way these chapters are set. The way she did it is like, I think she wanted people to just quickly go through and not pay attention, but I'm trying to pay school some prep. Whatever. Girl, I was an emo kid and I was This feels like some middle school shit. She thought she was the main character. Where's the one where it went by? Oh, good. I miss you also. I wish that you got on the computer more often. Here's Sean. Cute, huh? Very emo. We both are. I can't wait to see a pic of you too. And notice his awesome views. Check whatever. I mean, I know that this is how middle schoolers in like the early 2000s talk like this. We talked cringy and we said like prep and to say like preppy popular kids or whatever. And I talked in all caps and I did like RAR XD. So I get it, but it still feels fake based on what I know about Shannon and based on how she talks. What's this one? Then confront him and ask him if he's mad at you. If he gets mad at you, for that, then tell him your guardian devil / sister in California told you to do that and that you're kind of peeved at that and you want to know what's up. And if he's still mad at you, just tell him that you're not at fault. He's not worth your time. He can't be kind to you and accept him into his group like you did when he put his arm around your waist. Ugh. If he want proof that I am really here, print this and tell him that I think from the pic you gave me, he looks cute. That's sus. That's suspicious. I've never been chatting with a friend and been like, yeah, tell your friend I said this, and then be like, by the way, if your friend wants proof that I exist, here's a picture of me. She blocked out names for some reason when it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if you say that this person has a friend, Sean, James, Charles, Amber, Lynn, Christopher. It doesn't matter. What's this? I mean, these could possibly be real scenarios, but it still feels weird. I'm sorry I'm leaning over. It's because the script is so tiny on my main screen that I'm leaning over to my other screen to read it properly. If Sean did that to me, I would seriously cut his throat. But at the same time, it does seem real, but I think it's real in that it is Shannon. I think it is Shannon from this period emailing herself. Does that make sense? Like, I'm sorry if I end up being wrong, whatever, I'll admit that mistake down the road. But I don't believe. Yeah, exactly. No, this seems like real middle school. Yeah, we said the same thing at the same time. I'm trying to find her age. So she's 28. She's born in 90. So you tell me, you do the math. I think she was like 15 or something around this time. Like a messenger thing instead of just a search engine. And yeah, she was like 15 or something. Wee cake? Wee cake or oi? I don't know. It's really sketchy. Let's just keep going. I'm not trying to...
It's important to note that two things can be true and not negate one another. Emily and I could have gone through something similar, that being online harassment, and still not speak, get along, or any of that. Her trying to say that she thinks because I did this, I could have never been stalked, and then going to invent a situation in which everything I produce is suddenly about her is incredibly gross and narcissistic.
That's not what she said. I thought we were talking about proof whether or not Amy existed. Where do we get into so it's narcissistic that she thought that you were her stalker when you were?
Narcissistic behavior. In the video, after I let Emily know that an account messaged me and sent me some weird information on her that I was not comfortable with, none of which is what she stated it was. She stated if someone was harassing her and sending weird messages about her to other channels, they would have, quote, just made the video themselves.
Shannon says, look, honestly, I'm sorry from what you've gone through. I don't know you all that well, but accusing us of doing shit we don't know about isn't.
I chose a bad time to eat, I'm so sorry, but she's saying, this is a message from Shannon to Emily. Emily is reading Shannon's message. In this message, Shannon says that they don't know each other that well, but she spent an hour and 30 minutes talking about how intimately she knows about her life and her past relationships and her drug addiction and her abuse and everything she's gone through. And that she has history with her dating back to when they were like teenagers. That's so fucked up.
Cool. Like, Andrew already told me that you thought he did it, and honestly, I didn't worry about it because it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Also, about the sub-buying thing, I got message about that as well. Like, 5 accounts messaged me, and I know they messaged other art YouTubers. They also messaged me edits of shit about you from before the Emily Artful account. Shit that is literally none of my business. That makes no fucking sense. Why would...
Before Shannon says shit, that does not make sense. And has access to all her exes, every event that happened between them. Where are we at right now? 1:30:36? Where is... If I can find it, I'll click on it. Oh, I can't. Such a long video. I can't find it, but she has all of her social media handles from when she was on I Can Has Cheeseburger and 9gag and DeviantArt. All of those dating back at least 10 years.
this person who has shit on me send stuff to Shannon, but no other commentary drama channel? If they really...
I remember watching that part, and that was weird. You're fine. Take your time. But that is weird that that no other drama channel contacted Emily about other, like, accounts sending her weird shit about Emily, but they just sent it to Shannon. All this bitch is doing is digging her own grave.
really had shit on me, don't you think they would really want to try to get it out there?
She also stated no one else got these messages, but I know for a fact Hopeless Peaches and one other art account that no longer exists also got these messages, because we talked about how uncomfortable
She better prove it. She better right now send screenshots of her talking to these other creators. Jesus. Almost lost my life. Almost lost my tea. I'm gonna move that over there before something dangerous happens. But she better right now send a screenshot of her having these conversations with these other YouTubers, or I'm calling bullshit. I'm flipping my desk.
It made us. However, in response to that assertion, if I was going to make a video on Emily because I had all this information, wouldn't I just do that? I was already making commentary content.
No,
I was already making...
Because you have to keep the image that you have built up for your community. You have to keep presenting the image that you are drama-free, that you are a beacon of truth, and that everyone loves you, and that you can do no wrong. So of course you're not going to make a video slamming Emily for no reason. Of course you're not going to. Because that would ruin your image. And it would be you talking about her and giving her a platform. And I bet you if Shannon had gone and made a video about Emily before Emily made her fucking video about all the shit that Shannon has done, she would just look crazy. Because I bet you all the stuff that came out about her, would have come out anyways.
callouts. If I wanted to cancel Emily, as they say I did,
You did not cancel. No one said you canceled, baby girl. No one said that you canceled Emily. No one thinks you canceled Emily. I didn't see anyone talking about how she canceled Emily. All I saw was people, and no one canceled you either. You have done FBI level crimes against this woman. You and your husband have done FBI level offenses against this one poor woman. That is not the same as like canceling or drama.
I would have just made a video of the screenshots of her taking photos of other women in public, making fun of their bodies.
Where is the proof that this is Emily? Where is the proof? You're gonna say this is Emily? You're either saying that this account is Emily, or you're saying that this is Emily. If you're saying that this is Emily right here, this person in the green shirt taking a photo of Emily, that's not Emily. This does not look like an Emily whatsoever. And if you're gonna say that this is Emily, talking about this, saying that'll do, pig, that'll do, it's probably about Emily talking about this person taking a picture of this person in public. Why do you think she is talking about this girl with the babe shorts? Isn't it possible that she is talking about this person being a pig, taking a picture of that woman in the babe shorts?
And posting them saying, that'll do, pig, that'll do. Or, fat girls piss me off. Or,
again, say I'm wrong. She did say this shit. She's fat phobic. Whatever. She's fat phobic and she hates fat people and she talks about them on the internet. Whatever. It does not mean that she deserved to be sexually assaulted by your husband. You are not clicking. You are not connecting it. You can see this whole video is about you trying to shit on Emily's character, saying she's fat phobic, she's racist, she hates blank, 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 she blanks, blank, 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 she's horrible, she sucks, da da da. None of it matters because none of this is an excuse for your husband sexually assaulting her. No, you can't say anything here that'll make me believe that. There is not one thing that I'm gonna see in this video that's gonna make me be like, oh yeah, she deserved to be sexually assaulted by your husband. Sorry, queen, go off.
funny women are Jews, the rest are all our slur, and we laugh out of sheer disappointment. Or even her saying on a post of an anorexic teenage girl that she's skinnier than her. I didn't make a video on that because I didn't know those things until now. And I'm only making one now because you falsely accused Anthony and I.
And also, until you link these accounts via IP address or something, or anything else that this is her, I can't believe it. Sorry.
I am stalking you while also stating you have no evidence and would lose a court case. Emily also states that me telling her that someone messaged me like this and I wasn't going to do anything was my way of threatening her. Me saying I was.
Emily said in her video, if I remember correctly, sorry if I am miscommunicating something, Emily said in her video that not only did you pretend to be Amy and you made you made posts and you stalked her as this Amy account, she said that multiple fake accounts of her had popped up over the years. So what's to say this isn't just you?
Wasn't going to do something was not my way of telling her I was going to do something. Emily purposely misinterprets anything I've had to say to her to make it appear as if I'm telling her the opposite. If I tell her I understand what she's going through and I'm more than happy to sign a restraining order or any legal documents that say I will not contact her in psychological warfare with her, and I'm using reverse psychology to say I won't actually do that. If I tell her I'm sorry for what she's going through because I know how isolating being harassed online can be, I'm actually telling her that I am one of the people doing this all along.
Also, why would Emily make these accounts and say these heinous things with her name on it? With her name on it. Why would she make another account that said Emily, but a different last name, and her picture where she talks shit like this online? Have you ever met someone who talks shit online? Have you ever met a troll? They don't use their real name. They don't use their real photo. It makes no sense that she would incriminate herself like this.
And I'm getting joy out of it. I also provided Emily with a way to send me a restraining order that would have been just as legally binding without spending any money, something she stated at the time she didn't want to do because she was out of money, and I agreed that me and Anthony would sign it. I gave her my legal information and told her exactly how to reach Anthony and I, and she hid those messages in her video to make it appear
I'm sorry, is she trying to prove something here? Because these are the same. Except Emily blurred out the parts that she wanted to keep private. But it seems like it's the same message. In several papers, what does that mean? No, I won't tell a soul, I promise. You're the only one who knows other than someone. Annie, you're the only one who knows other than Annie. Oh my bad, What it...
As if I was doing the opposite. This is why no lawyer supported the idea of her taking this to court, because there is no court case here.
I went to the police. I was turned away.
Those are the same screenshots, unless I'm a dumbass. Those are the exact same screenshots.
I spoke to an attorney. They told me it's not going to be worth it taking it to court.
Just because she doesn't have a recorded event, actual physical evidence of your husband sexually assaulting her, that does not mean that did not happen. Just because that she had a timeline mishap as an addict where it's so hard, and she says it herself, it's hard to keep exact dates and times when you are an addict and you're going through drug abuse. It does not mean that did not happen. And her saying that you stalked her and I'm looking at you stalked her after years of stalking her and making her life hell, and you making a 2 hour and 31-minute video about you just talking shit on her and basically proving that you did stalk her. But what do you want this to mean? What is the point of this other than you want money from the ads and you want you want people to, you want to shit on her, you want people to maybe for half a second believe you instead of Emily. Fine. And you want the money from the AdSense, fine. But if your goal was not to make money from this, what was the point? What was the actual literal point of you doing any of this?
Court. I even went as far as hiring a private investigator for a short period of time, and he said the same thing.
Well,
in compiling evidence to talk to my lawyers, I reviewed my own Facebook laws that I downloaded before I deleted my account in 2019.
I'm sorry. I turned the I turned the captions off. I'm sorry.
In compiling evidence to talk to my lawyers, I reviewed my own Facebook laws that I downloaded before I deleted my account in 2019. In those records, I found that Emily has had an issue with me since 2014, very shortly after Anthony and I started talking again, when I left a review on her boyfriend's work. I didn't know who her boyfriend was, I didn't know he worked there, and the review was left when Anthony and I weren't speaking. Here's the review in question. Heaney Violins, 5 stars. Really great shop. The people were super friendly and really helped me and my friend.
Again, your ass is all about proof. Your ass is all about proof. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's your proof that this is Anthony? Unless you show it in a second. Where's your proof that this is Anthony, that you're talking to your husband?
Helpful, and I was like, wow, this is actually really great. I definitely don't. How did she make that jump? Anthony, yeah, how could she make that jump? Me, I'm sorry. Should I tell her I don't?
People in a healthy state of mind do not use that many dots per sentence. People in a healthy state of mind do not put ... so much in the way they talk online.
It really won't affect me in any way. I just don't want her wrath on me. Anthony, it doesn't matter. You're connected to her in some way, so now you hate her too. Me, I thought her boyfriend had serial killer potential. That equals hate. Anthony, was she the fucking girl in the store or something? Me, I left a nice review though, so I don't get why she's mad. Anthony, so she read a review.
Is this how these people talk on the daily? I feel like there's no specific... There's no actual connection of human normal conversation happening in any of this. I feel like they're not actually having like a real human conversation. It feels like someone trying to have a conversation with themselves.
And found out it was you, now she thinks you hate her. Me, well then foolproof logic. Anthony, so like I said, she found out you talked to her boyfriend once in a store and told a story about it online, so now we're connected in some way. You hate her, key smash. Anthony, god fucking damn it, that iPad fuck.
That's fake. You cannot tell me that's real.
States that Anthony only dated me and was only attracted to me because I am, quote, goth like she is. This is untrue. Partially because when they dated, she looked like this and wasn't at all goth. This is what I looked like when Anthony and I started dating years later.
So this is Shannon, for anyone who needs to know. This is Shannon. This is Shannon.
I only started dyeing my hair black.
It seems like this whole section right here is her picking apart. Random lies means she's basically picking apart anything she fucking can about Emily.
After Anthony and I broke up the first time when I decided I wanted to look like Zooey Deschanel. I am a pale woman with freckles and blue eyes. She is a white-passing Latina woman with all
I wouldn't say you look nothing alike.
at all similar, and I hardly show myself on.
She just said their styles aren't remotely similar and they're both wearing black hoodies, sweatshirts.
Online. So her saying we look alike is a farce.
She's shitting on her careers, like she's grasping at whatever straw she fucking can to get to shit on this woman.
Emily also interacted with people I knew in a friendly setting, further solidifying what I said about our social circles not being solely connected by Anthony. Here's Emily leaving a comment on a DeviantArt profile in
Your social circle is not being connected by Anthony still doesn't mean he didn't sexually assault her. I'm waiting for her. This is 2.5 hours, and it could have been 2.5 hours of anything having to do with proof. Bare face, black clothes, dark hair, dark eyebrows, similar eye shapes, similar eye colors. I'm waiting for any proof that means that your husband did not sexually assault this woman, and so far you've given me none.
2010.
And we are 2 hours and 45 minutes into the stream and like over an hour into the video.
Instagram doesn't notify me when I get those kind of DM requests, so just a heads up.
This video post-dates anytime Emily has cited that she was harassed or spoken to us, making her statement about her closing her DMs because of Anthony or myself completely false. Emily then says a story time.
That doesn't make them false. Because she's saying she's closing DMs to the public, meaning she doesn't want to talk to people who keep questioning her about omissions or asking her questions about things, that doesn't mean that that's 100% proof that there's no way you and your husband couldn't have been harassing her. I don't know, I can't make any connections to that, but that doesn't make sense.
I made is further proof that I stalked her. That video is about how someone stole my design and got it tattooed on them. In the story time, I make a joke about how I'm, quote, a great stalker because I can find anything on anyone.
So before I get started, I do have a confession to make. I am essentially Neve from Catfish with how fucking good I am at online stalking. Like, I'm amazing at it, guys. You have no idea. Honestly, a lot of people have tried to make me feel bad.
Hold on.
I am essentially...
So, this is Shannon. I'm pretty sure this is Shannon talking right now.
Neve from Catfish with how fucking good I am at online stalking.
This is not Emily's voice, so this is
Like,
Shannon.
I'm amazing at it, guys. You have no idea. Honestly, a lot of people have tried to make me feel bad about how good I am at it, and I don't fucking care at this point. Like, being able to research someone online is so handy because, one, you can figure out, like, is this a person I want to actually hang out with? And two, if you're getting into a new relationship or your friend is, you can actually figure out if that person's a dickbag or not. Because I've saved numerous people from getting into bullshitty relationships with guys who, one, already had girlfriends, and two, would frequent the Gone Wild side of Reddit and just hit on girls constantly. And I'm not just talking hit on. I mean, like, they would give them their full phone numbers in the comments. Like, unsolicited. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking proud that I'm me from Catfish. Hello, it's me, Shannon, again, and here I am talking over a compilation of TikToks making the same exact motherfucking joke as I did at the beginning of that video.
But the other people on TikTok that are making the joke about being really good at tracking people down and finding information about people are not currently being accused of stalking a woman for multiple years and harassing a woman for multiple years and having their husband sexually assault a woman. That is the difference. Their jokes might be funny because it is true that, like, people of our generation online are really good at tracking down information. But your joke was tone deaf because you actually did stalk a woman and your husband did sexually assault a woman. That's the difference.
Almost like it's a popular thing to say.
Also, her joking like this is really shitty. Her, like, condescending tone where she's like, it's almost like it's a popular joke.
Almost like me saying that I have massive FBI skills and I'm essentially me from Catfish isn't a fucking breadcrumb that I'm stalking someone because I feel
She sounds so bitter, by the way. She sounds so bitter.
like if I actually stalked someone, I wouldn't say that. Am I right, my dudes? No? Okay.
Don't call me that.
Okay, you still think that's a thing? Great.
That video was taken down on March 19th, 2021, months before Emily's video. I know this because I made a video addressing it, talking about how I took the video down because I no longer agreed with it, and I had grown and matured and found it cringy.
Hey guys, it's Shannon, and today I'm going to be talking about something that I haven't talked about in a very, very, very long time, that being tattoos, and people using my art for tattoos. And if you were thinking, wait, I don't remember Shannon ever talking about that subject matter, then you, my friend, are a fake fan. That's right, my dude. I'm calling you specifically out for not watching the 5th ever video I ever made for this channel called Somebody Stole My Art and Got It Tattooed. Does it have less than 100,000 views after 3 years? Yes, absolutely it does. And that is where it will forever stay because
My videos get like 300 views per video, so chill out a little bit, girlfriend.
I'm definitely probably going to be making it private after I upload this video because I hate everything about it and no longer agree with the premise of it.
I don't know who this is.
First, my sibling, Jem Campbell. The person who, their freshman year of Gonzaga University, shit in a mug, walked across campus and smeared that shit on the door of their girlfriend's friends' dorms because they thought they didn't like them. The person who was hired by disabled activist Evan Sweeney got fired for unprofessional behavior, then got so mad that they hacked Evan's account to read what Evan thought about them and deleted their work in revenge, only to be called by the cops. The person who purposely broke our parents' laptop by pouring water on it because our parents gave them a curfew when they moved back home from college. Me and Jem have not been close since 2014 when I picked them up from a party and they drunkenly told me I was supposed to be the fuck up of the family in 7th grade when I tried, and they want nothing to do with me. The next morning, they didn't remember it and they said they didn't mean it, but after that, everything was different. They surfaced the moment my name was...
What does this have to do with... Why would you share this story? Why would you share this story about your sibling in a situation where you are being accused of stalking a woman and your husband is being accused of sexually assaulting her?
Friends dorm.
That's awful, but again, what does this have to do with the situation? The main situation.
They want nothing to do with me. The next morning, they didn't remember it and they said they didn't mean it, but after that, everything was different. They surfaced the moment my name was trending in a negative way to not only state that I had stalked Emily and they had witnessed it, but also to state that I had stalked and abused them as well. That I had spent years following their online presence, sending harassment towards them,
I mean, you have multiple screenshots and like videos and stuff of these people, Emily and your family, from years and years and years ago. Am I crazy to think that it's very probable that you did stalk and harass your family?
I've abused them for years and years, and much like Emily, they had no evidence because that
Where's yours? Where is yours? They have no evidence. Where's your evidence?
Quite sincerely didn't happen. They admitted in 2018.
So fucking devastated because he loves you despite what you think. So, okay, either there was abuse in the household and Shannon adopted the role of there's an actual term for it, but the parent protector, the one who learned to survive abuse by siding with the parents and punishing another sibling that rejected the parents' abuse. Or there was no abuse and they're all just unhinged, or there was abuse. There wasn't abuse, but something happened with the sister at some point, and so she hates the parents and she is the one with the problems, and Shannon is just a normal good child trying to help the problematic sister reconnect with her parents. And I don't want to speculate about child abuse and who experienced child abuse here, but it's just the way that they interact and the way they talk to each other is like, one, unhealthy, and two, really emotionally charged. So Paige is the name of the friend that died, I think.
It's incredible to lose loved ones, especially so young in life, and I'm sorry for this pain. I appreciate you reaching out and understand.
Oh, she said, oh my god, I completely forgot. She said her parents were met in AA or something. So I bet there was drug abuse in the home. I gotcha. I can't believe I completely forgot about that detail.
This is not a portable.
She is very clear to use they for her sister. Sorry, I think I misgendered her sister a couple times. Her sister goes by they, them, and in Emily's video, and when shit about Shannon came out on lolcow, shit was going down because Shannon was misgendering her sister and like fucking around with her like sister's pronouns and like doing something offensive. I remember. I'm gonna have to refresh myself on all this on my video about it. I find it funny that she's carefully using they now and not her, she, her pronouns.
Better pass. However, many months after a generally friendly conversation, they blocked me after me talking about my dental surgery, and they posted on Twitter that I was a toxic, abusive person.
So, in your mind, the way to handle your sibling not messaging you back is to slander them on your Instagram stories. And it also was proven that one of the two brothers she mentioned was her cousin or something.
I'm the most abusive person in their life, and I've stalked them, and
like the brother that committed was just really close cousins, which is fine, but people were saying that she was like glamorizing this, like really glamorizing her relationship with her cousin.
all this stuff that they've admitted isn't true.
I also wanted to address
Where did they admit that it wasn't true? They admitted all this stuff wasn't true. Where? You've been showing screenshots up to this point throughout this whole thing. But when it comes to actually proving something, like proving actual things that you are accusing people of, where is it?
Jem said about me on Twitter, specifically in regards to our brother, Bobby, because they made a statement that I only started calling Bobby my brother when he died, which is, I mean, the implication of that is that, oh, when I could use it for sympathy, that...
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
That's when I cared for someone. Not the case. Here is the last conversation I had.
I also think this is fucked up of her to share screenshots with a dead loved one to prove her point.
With Bobby, where he is offering me a place to stay in case something bad were to happen to me at home. And here's him also asking why Jem hates him. Because they had cut him off for
This is the literal definition of grasping at straws, because this stuff about him being cut off from his family or whatever doesn't say anything about you saying that he is your brother after he died for sympathy. These two do not connect in any way, shape, or form. If you want to call your cousin your brother, that's fine. But you are not disproving that you only called him your... I thought when she said, here's the last conversation with him, I thought she was going to call him her brother or something. And he was going to be like, love you too, sister. And then I would have been like, oh, okay, you proved that you have that relationship. You've called him your brother in the past. It makes sense that you have done that. And people who are saying that you just did it for sympathy can fuck off. But you're not proving that.
For believably no reason. They even spoke on Tumblr about how they didn't have a reason for it. So, in regards to that, Jem, go fuck yourself.
You cannot tell her to go fuck yourself if you have not given anything to disprove what she is saying. She said that you were using the death of your cousin by calling him your brother for sympathy, for attention. You have not proved that that is not the case.
But don't worry, they didn't just do it publicly. They also sent me death threats, made fun of the...
This is shitty. If someone said this to her, that wasn't her saying it to herself. This is shitty. You should never talk to someone like this. I would never DM Shannon and say anything like this, saying that they deserve an agonizing traumatic miscarriage. That's crazy. I would never say anything like that. And you should never, ever DM horrible people and say shit like this to them. Because that's not okay. And you should never tell anyone to kill themselves. Yeah, this shit that I'm not gonna say, this shit. She and Anthony both deserve to be held accountable for their actions, but she does not deserve to have this shit thrown at her. Because one, you just look like a dick if you're saying this shit to horrible people. You just look like a dick. And at the end of the day, they're just going to use it for attention and sympathy anyways. Like, one of the things that, since Gabby Hanna is here, I'll mention her. One of the things that Gabby Hanna got away with a little bit, and a lot of some other like TikTokers, YouTubers that were canceled, is they use sympathy of being bullied to kind of release any responsibility they have for their actions. So you shouldn't do this because one, it's shitty, you look like a dick, and two, they're just going to use it anyways.
The fact that I can't have children, and talked about how much better my nephew would be without me, so I should... Oh, and my husband. We should both... They sent these emails to me from a spam account. However, when they spoke about the protests in Portland in 2016, I knew it was them, because they had word for word said this to me before. All that being said...
Show them sending that to you as comparison to prove that what you're saying is true. You are saying so much and showing so little, and anything you do show is not actual proof. Your sister said that you were using your cousin's death and calling him your brother for attention and sympathy. In order to counteract that, you showed a screenshot of you talking to him just offering a place for you to stay, which is a general family member thing, at least in my family. And then you showed us another screenshot of him being cut off. You're making connections that don't need to be connected and don't do anything for anyone. It does not make sense. And her just now saying the thing about, I know this was my family because this is exactly what they said before, and then cut to a gray blank screen. You're not proving anything. And at this point, you don't have the credibility to just talk about stuff. You don't have the credibility to just talk about things that have happened to you or things that people have said to you or blah, blah, blah. You have been slouching this entire time. Getting old. You don't have the credibility or the right or the anything to do that. You have to show proof. If you're saying that your family told you to... If you're saying that they sent you these messages, not docs, they sent you these messages and told you to physically harm yourself and all these nasty things about you and your husband, you need to put that there. Not immediately make a gray screen and then move on to another point. You need to show these messages. You need to show something of proving that they said these nasty things to you. You need to show something proving that you and your cousin had that relationship of you calling him your brother. That was a known thing between you two. No one else knew. It was just you and him. But because you're not showing that, no one can believe you. And usually I wouldn't be this nitpicky about details like that, but this is a 2-hour and 30-minute video of you defaming a woman that your husband sexually assaulted, that you have stalked. And you are putting in all these details that no one cares about. You're putting in all these details that don't matter. Doesn't make sense.
I am done. I'm done. I'm done paying your medical bills.
With your sister? Your sister has nothing to do with it. I feel like I'm getting a little too hype here, and I have been getting a little too hype this evening, but your sister has nothing to do with this. Your sister has nothing to do with the accusations against your husband and you for stalking, harassing, and sexually, and I guess medically with the drugs, abusing a woman.
I'm done helping you every time you reach out, begging for support, begging.
Unless she shows it in the next 30 seconds. The last thing that happened was her sister offered her money because she went through dental surgery, and then after her sister offered her money, she never messaged Shannon back. And so because she didn't message Shannon back, I'm assuming Shannon internally, mentally, she took that as rejection. She's like, she's not texting me back, rejection. I have to fix this rejection now. I have to do something about this rejection. And then she posted on her stories about not having a relationship with her sister. Because it seems like all these people do in this family, her, Shannon, her sister specifically, all they do is communicate online with each other. So her relationship is probably wrapped up in communicating in DMs and online. So when she didn't get a DM back, she went into crisis mode and she posted that shit on her story about not having a relationship. And her sister probably saw that and was like, oh, fuck you, we don't have a relationship. Fine, bye. And then she spilled the tea of all the bullshit that Shannon had put her through and the bullshit with her cousin brother. And now this is where we are, where she's like talking about her sister in a video where this should have been maybe 10 minutes long of her either denying everything and saying she's not going to talk about anything online, she's leaving the internet, or her saying, you know what, bad shit happened, I'm taking responsibility and I'm leaving the internet. Either way, this is too much, and this is, I don't like using the word, but this is crazy.
For money, saying you're being unfairly penalized by some system. I am done being the shoulder for you to cry on when you get evicted or something goes wrong in your life. I am done giving you $13,000 in 1 year because
she also is using all that. Sorry to keep pausing. She's using all this for sympathy. She's very obviously like, Emily bad, me good. Emily bad, selfish, bad. Me good, charitable. Give money, give time, give energy to sister. That's what's going on here.
You immediately go on Twitter and brag about how stupid I am for trusting you. How it's so funny that I am giving you money after you ask for money because you're right. I am fucking stupid. I am. All those posts were right. But I finally fucking love myself enough now to know I don't deserve that shit. And I will never have you in my life again. Never. Nothing could happen that will make me want to be anywhere near you.
I don't think she's gonna watch this video, sweetheart.
The second person who came out against me is Kevin.
Oh my god, she's talking about other people than Emily that have done her wrong. That's what this is. This is the Mean Girls, what is it, burn book? This is the Mean Girls burn book. She's talking about shit that everyone has done for her. Even in the description of the video, she talked about Let's be talking about how certain people like Ashley, Lily, and Repzion went above and beyond to lie, dox, and slander me. And I'm pretty sure that because the reason that Emily got so much like support in her video is because people were being like, yeah, CreepshowArt, Shannon did this to me too. CreepshowArt, Shannon did this to me too. It's not just Emily who is the victim in all the shit that CreepshowArt has done. There's just been layer upon layer upon layer. This shit is a at least 10-layer beefy burrito of bullshit. And it's just people coming together and be like, yeah, Shannon's a horrible person. She did this to me too. This happened to me. And she has some audacity to be like, people are slandering me. Here's my burn book list. Blah, blah, blah. But you're not Regina George. This video is titled The Lies of Emily Artful. So this video should be about one thing and one thing only, Emily Artful. And she is talking about people who are not involved. I mean, I'll say that her sister is involved because they did have shit to say in evidence against Shannon being a good person, but still, like, this is her burn book.
Kevin Adam Coulter, who was someone I used to be friends with years ago for about a year. However, we knew each other and knew of each other for a lot longer. He goes by the moniker Coultergeist on social media, and you might know him as the guy who stated privately that talking to me was too triggering, and then immediately went to making memes about my cancellation. Kevin is a person who
People can make jokes about their abusers and people that do them wrong. This person can be traumatized by you and what you did to them, and still, after you have been dealt with by the internet, make jokes about it to cope.
I tried to contact last year for some closure. He had previously manipulated me, assaulted me, and gone out of his way to convince me that people in my life hated me, so I should isolate myself and cut them off. He tried to break up 2 relationships I was in, both with Anthony and a different boyfriend, Richard, and he knew how to manipulate me better than anyone else. He would constantly call me, telling me he was depressed, begging me to come over, and when
She seems like and this goes back to me saying that shit about her being the defender in the parental abuse situation, the defender of the parents. She's looking for anything she can to like excuse the shit that she's done and the shit that has happened to these people. She's saying, yeah, Kevin Coulter is saying this shit about me, but he and I were friends, but I gave him $150. Emily had 8 abusive relationships. Emily Artful, I don't remember her real last name. Emily Artful had a drug problem. It doesn't excuse anything. It doesn't matter that these people may have been friends with you in the past, that Emily may have had something going on with you in the past. It doesn't fucking matter. Because abuse cannot be excused. It can be explained, but you're not explaining it. You're trying to excuse it, and there's a difference.
I got there, I would call him asking where he was, and he would tell me he left to hang out with other people. He lived about an hour away, and this was like a nearly daily thing. When we smoked hookah, he would ash the coal off on me physically because he said I made a funny noise when I got burnt. And when my brother died, he told me that I was too sad.
So you have clarified that this person was not your brother, they were your cousin, and you have not clarified that you had that close relationship where you have called them your brother all your life or most of your life, to where you have that relationship to call them that. But you're still calling him your brother.
I had to hang out around him and to call him when I was over it. Kevin, like everyone else, just said a bunch of things. No evidence.
I'm looking at a gray screen, and I've been looking at a gray screen for a lot of this. About 80% of this video, that's too generous. About 65 to 70% of this video is you just posting Emily's videos and stuff that other people have said and making connections that don't exist. Where's your evidence?
And it also doesn't make sense for him to have witnessed anything, given that we weren't friends when the majority of the harassment took place, according to Emily. We had already stopped being friends, according to the timeline.
So you're saying you and Emily were friends at one point, but she was never a part of your life? feel like we keep bouncing back and forth between different like facts.
However, I don't know if Kevin himself actually did anything to Emily, seeing as he was the one in my life who did know a lot about what was going on with her. He watched all her channels. But I do know he did similar things to his ex-girlfriends. Kevin would hack his girlfriend's Facebook pages, or they would just log on his accounts and he would go back into them in order to see who they were talking to. He'd go on their YouTube pages to see what they were posting, and he would generally just fuck with everything on their pages. He did this to me a couple times, sending people Facebook messages from my account to fuck with my friendships, and he blocked people on my account that he didn't want me to talk to. This is him doing it to me, like sending me messages.
You are criticizing that no one has proof. You are criticizing that no one has proof of the shit that you have, of the shit they're accusing you of. And while you're saying all this heinous shit that other people are doing, it is a blank gray screen.
From a different friend's account. This is why every person in my life hated him and was stoked when we finally weren't friends. This is also why when Kevin said in his last message that he got pretty cyber-stalkery before, I didn't have a huge reaction to it. I just said, you know what, I understand. If you're in a better place now and if I don't want to trigger you, that's fine. Because he had gone cyber-stalkery before in my presence with his exes. And I thought that meant he changed, but alas, no.
I can tell that she's getting emotional, but the problem is up to this point with her character, I can't tell if it's genuine emotion or if it's sympathy emotion. And I usually wouldn't speculate that, but the way she is makes me feel like it's not genuine.
It's over. I am done. I am not coming back to YouTube.
She said that. Okay, I think she said, I am most likely not going to post until I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that what occurred was not my doing. So I guess this is goodbye until then. And then she said this shit. For those asking if I'm okay, no, I'm not. Everyone close to me is now confused as to what my moral character is. I've seen posts from people I've supported in dark ass times saying I always knew something was wrong with her. And I'm realizing more and more a lot of what I thought were friendships were not. Shit like this fundamentally changes you, and I'm going to deal with this myself. See you soon. Oh no, wait, there's this one. Hold on, what's this one? What's the first one? Okay. Oh yeah, she wrote this long ass thing. Let me see if I can go to... Sorry for the break. I'm not joining a membership! No! Okay, where is... I think it was under community posts. 6 months ago. Doxed a relative. That's the sister. That is the non-binary sister. She doxed her non-binary sister. And more on a hate forum. Lolcow, I believe. Which it was proven that she did say all that shit on Lolcow. I realized what happened. So this is where she says that Amy is real, but someone else that is not her. I'm skimming this because I'm trying to see if anything is contradictory here. Also, this doesn't make sense. She says Amy was harassing her in high school, but they were talking, if it wasn't Creepshow messaging herself, they were talking like it was like they were besties, like they were middle school besties. She didn't mention this at all. She posted all that shit about her sister, saying that her sister was a crazy mess, but didn't say anything about the people saying that she doxed her sister. 14,000 comments. Sorry to Shannon's fans who thought they would get some accountability from her. Everyone should take accountability, not me. Hasn't made a response taking accountability at all. That was a month ago. To everyone, Shannon ended up hurting. Hope you're all doing well. Emily deserves justice. You deserve to be in jail / therapy. Put an and right there. She deserves to be in jail and get therapy. The fact you guys don't even want to change and Emily did change. Okay.
I have learned that the only people I can count on in my life are the people who actually know me. And if a random person comes...
Let's what she just said, the only people I can count on in my life, I said this in the beginning of the stream. This first paragraph is fucking crazy. I want to thank my legal team, family, and no one else, because you people couldn't even scroll down an Instagram page to fact check her. You really said no evidence? That's fine. It's not like she's accusing these people of felonies that could ruin their lives. That's what you're doing in this video. You are accusing people of things that could ruin their lives, showing intimate screenshots, showing stuff that could absolutely ruin their lives, and you with little to no proof. Her own YouTube channel debunks all of her claims. She said she was so scared to post about her location online during a time where she was actively vlogging around her city. Vlogging you around your city is not the same thing as doxing. Saying I live in San Francisco, California, is not the same thing as saying my address is 1122 North San Francisco Lane, zip code 7198, whatever. That is not the same thing. Saying where she was living, none but your usual, I do all the heavy lifting because you guys are lazy. She has some audacity to call her community, scold her community for being lazy when this is 90%. This is 90% of her screen, of her video. Just this blank gray, sorry, my butt hurts. I have to adjust. This blank gray ass wall. Nothing.
Online and states I stalk them with quite sincerely no evidence and literally posts on their active accounts that disprove that. People,
Then show it. If there's undisputed, for her to say undisputable proof and then to keep it on this blank screen is...
I genuinely admired. And
I'm sorry, I did not put the captions back on. I apologize.
Would just go with it and decide, yeah, that makes sense.
I would not get this, but I would get her point of view of being kind of fed up if Emily went on a video with half the amount of proof she had, which is still a lot, and said something along the lines of, you know what, there's this one woman talking about me and my husband and it's not fair, so I'm gonna come back in like a couple of months when I've got my head on straight and figure things out. It's so much more than that, because it was Hopeless Peaches, I talked about her a little bit, or them, sorry, I don't remember Hopeless Peaches' pronouns. It was just so much, so many people coming forward that Shannon had crept into their lives and really ruined a lot of their relationships and really like forced them into toxic friendships, which exist. Toxic friendships, it's not just toxic romantic relationships. Toxic friendships exist. And then she has the audacity to be like, you guys are lazy, pathetic, dumb. It's almost comical to listen to her without her face on this, to listen to her be like, yeah, there's undeniable proof that these people did these things or da-da-da-da. And you're not going to show it. You're not going to show this proof that you're saying is undeniable and would clear you in a heartbeat, because it doesn't exist.
Two people who I barely know anymore, who I barely, like...
She seems less fed up with the situation and more fed up with, like, people's audacity to, like, call her out and challenge her.
Who literally have years of statements online, public, saying they hate me, and they don't really know. They came and coincided.
You went to the trouble to do a 2.5-hour video of you defaming one woman and went into her detailed past from over 9 years ago. Her dating history, her drug abuse, everything. Her romantic relationships when she was a teenager, like 16. You went into all this shit and you couldn't be bothered to show the extra screenshots and the extra proof you would need to clear your name completely with no, what is the word I'm looking for? No doubt whatsoever.
Literally, no one in my life, no active friend of mine, not one friend who I'm actually close to, came forward and said, here's evidence of Shannon doing it. No one.
Yes, they did. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Hold on. Off the top of my head. I'm getting a new keyboard that's not so. I'm just gonna skim through.
Is a gossip site, but the admins and the moderators on that site have a reputation for exposing people who do what's called self-posting,
the voice memos,
which is essentially you go on that gossip site and you post as, like, let's say I go to that website and I'm posting as me anonymously, and then I'm like having conversations with myself saying like, you should go check out my new video that I just made, or so. I basically link my own content in a thread, and it's me, but I'm pretending not to be me. Really insanely petty, crazy, stupid shit, right? But what we found out is, and I'm not gonna explain this in full detail, but this is how the site works. You basically post on this anonymous website and you gossip about other creators and
Repsion, if you see this on YouTube later, please don't strike my video.
Things like that, and it keeps a log of your cookies. Like, your cookies are pretty much all interchangeable in the sense that they're attached. Everything does. Your PlayStation, your desktop, if you're,
We're not going to sit here and watch the whole thing, but basically he goes into saying that your IP address and the way that the locale moderators found out that it was Shannon bullying herself and talking shit about people and using slurs was they matched the IP address to her account.
Voice memos from a ex-friend of Creepshow who released these of Shannon talking about Gabby Hanna. And boy, is this rich for a lot of different reasons, as you will see here. But like Creepshow and like Gabby kind of being.
And yes, I know that the Gabby Hanna situation with Creepshow does not really relate so much to the Emily Artful thing, but it goes to her character.
Friends says everything to me. Like, I'm not gonna dictate who can be friends with who, but like legitimately, I didn't even know that Creepshow was like defending Gabby at any point.
Sitting on hours and hours and hours of content. And when she approached me, like last month, because she's had my number for at least like 6 months, I would say for like a couple weeks, I thought we were like actually friends, but she was, using me, which is fine. I don't know why I expected more of her, but essentially she reached out and she was just like, I'm making all these videos, I am going to be like doing like one and dones for every person who's kind of like fucked me over, because she was getting mad at me and mad at Ready to Glare and like everyone, because we hadn't made videos like defending her, but also she wasn't willing to like say it publicly. And so she gave me and Julia shit for not making videos on like the things she was telling us privately. And then she like went off on me again, and she was just like, this is after like she had threatened me, but like she went off on me and she was like, that doesn't make sense, you're just a coward, da, da, da. And I was just like, I literally stopped responding at that point, because what am I going to do?
Again, I'm not going to go into this too much, but it leans more towards what I was saying about how this is the proof that you need. This is what you need. Voice memos, screenshots, something, not just a gray screen of you yelling at everyone. Okay. And there are so many videos like this of people who are close to her and saying, yeah, this is how she affected me and this is what she did to me, and here's proof.
presented any evidence that holds up even a little bit to speculation. None.
You're gonna say, hold on. You're gonna say, you need to chill out, Miss Ma'am. Okay. You're gonna say no one had any evidence at all? Let's listen to that.
It's over. I am done. I am not coming back to YouTube. I have learned that the only people I can count on in my life are the people who actually know me. And if a random person comes on...
These people knew you. These people were your friends. And then they realized that you were either 1, unhinged, 2, dangerous, or 3, toxic. And they decided to not be friends with you and also expose the shit that you did.
Online and states I stalked them with quite sincerely no evidence and literally post on their active accounts that disprove that. People I genuinely admired and loved would just go with it and decide, yeah, that makes sense. 2 people who I barely know anymore, who I barely, like, who literally have years of statements online, public, saying they hate me and they don't really know, they came and coincided this bullshit. Meanwhile, literally, no one in my life, no active friend of mine, not one friend who I'm actually close to, came forward.
I'm pretty sure you were close to all those people who spoke against you.
And said, here's evidence of Shannon doing it. No one presented any evidence that holds up even a little bit to speculation. None. Which is why every lawyer, every police officer, every PI that Emily took...
Also, obviously we are a cab in this house. So I find it a little funny that she's like, these lawyers wouldn't take this case and these people wouldn't take this case and no. Well, it's hard to prove harassment and stalking, especially if it's online. It's hard to get cases for that. I say that in my video. It's difficult to bring a case of stalking, harassment, cyber stalking, and cyber harassment to court and actually get a conviction. It's probably why the lawyers said not to do it, is because they know it would be a waste of time and resources and money to try to do it.
This who immediately said she didn't have a case. Meanwhile,
Also, just because she didn't have a case doesn't mean it didn't happen. She showed so much evidence on her video. Everything lined up. All the other people speaking out against you. It all lines up and it all matches together. So just because she doesn't have a legal case does not mean that this shit did not happen to her and that you did not participate in the heinous things that happened to her.
The lawyer I went to said I did and was eager to pursue this.
Also, this whole video is her just shitting on Emily. I've said that 500 times, I know. But she didn't even try to apologize. She didn't even attempt to apologize. She did not attempt to apologize or say, you know what, you're right, sorry. I'm sorry this shit happened, Emily. It wasn't me, but I'm sorry this shit happened. She didn't even try that.
And to all the people who were like, Shannon went away because she's scared of being sued. Emily couldn't have sued me. She couldn't have. I didn't do anything. Even if she tried.
How old is this woman? She's almost 30 years old, and she sounds like a teenager. She didn't have a case. She couldn't have. No way. No way.
I said I would address Tipster, so this is for him.
I saw this on Twitter, and I think that this dude, whoever this dude is, you should not have messaged CreepshowArt. You should not have messaged Shannon at all. It's wrong of you to make a video about her and then DM her and be like, I'm here if you need to talk. Because that seems like you're either trying to get more tea from her or you're trying to get a reaction. Because as soon as you, like, not a day after this happened with you in her DMs, you posted this. Because I saw the screenshots of this. So I don't think you should have done that.
Tipster said that if I was able to prove that I didn't do what I was being accused of, that he would apologize to me. And to that, I say, fuck you.
No! What you should say to that, if you're being accused of having CSAM and that your husband raped a woman and that you stalked a woman, that you should prove it. This should have been a 5-minute video where you, without a doubt, proved that everyone was wrong. You were the victim all along, and you have not done that. And I've been streaming for nearly 4 hours, and you've
disgusting
not
person.
done it.
You maliciously attacked my husband because you
It's not a malicious attack to call a rapist a rapist.
yourself couldn't scroll down far enough on Emily's Instagram and find the multiple posts that debunk her story that are still live.
It doesn't debunk her story. What you've shown does not debunk her story and prove that she was not sexually assaulted. The only people that know, you illiterate oaf, the only people that know that happened are Anthony and Emily. And if Emily says that there was sexual content, and if your husband says there's sexual content, and Emily says that it was not consensual because she was high on drugs, and you can link her history with drug abuse and issues with addiction, then there's nothing on her Instagram that proves that. There's nothing on her Instagram to scroll. It doesn't matter if she has an established relationship with him in the past. It doesn't matter if she got the date and time wrong slightly. It does not matter if she proved that she was a webcam girl, which you mentioned for what, to slut shame her. It does not, any of the things you mentioned here does not matter because none of it is an excuse for her to be sexually assaulted. None of it is an excuse for her to be sexually assaulted. And I can't think of one thing that on her Instagram, her public Instagram, could say that would prove that he did not do it or that she's uncredible to what she is saying about not consenting to sex.
You're a journalist, but you just couldn't do that. There is a reason your content gets fewer and fewer views than everyone else in the YouTube commentary community, and you keep being beat.
No, bitch. The person who gets the least amount of views in the YouTube commentary community is me.
Out by everyone else, and that's because it's terrible, lazy, and reductive. You should rename your channel Secondhand News because you can't be fucked.
I can see her right now. Her face isn't here, and she's not showing her face for this, but I can see her right now. She's got the. I'm not gonna do it because it'll hurt someone's ears. She's got the mic right here, and she's like, "You should call your channel Secondhand News." Whoa! I can see her right now doing
to
it.
actually research anything before you open your ugly mouth. You watch someone else's video and you say what they said worse than they said.
Damn.
You want to report
She said a lot of stuff so far that's made me go like, damn, but that was the first one. Shut your ugly mouth.
you're not a journalist. You're a joke. Just know that you are a terrible person. And you can take that for...
People who aren't guilty don't do this. People who are innocent of crimes that they're accused of and, are associated with people who are innocent of crimes they're accused of don't act like this and don't do this. Shut your ugly mouth, you dumb journalist. People who are innocent don't act like that and don't do this.
Forgiveness. And... just... fuck it. Just fuck that forgiveness right off. You are just as bad as Emily, if not worse, for supporting a mob with no evidence while claiming to do all this research and claiming to care about your friends or anything. I talked to you so many times, and you once cried on stream saying if Shannon was in trouble, she would tell me not to defend her because she's a good person. And when I...
People can be wrong. You say that yourself. I'm not going to try to find it because it'll be impossible to, but in here she says something about it's almost like people can do bad things and still be a good person or something like that. Something to that effect. And people could have thought you were a good person and be wrong. And also, when people say they'll be there for someone else if they're in trouble, that means if someone needs financial help, if someone needs emotional help, if they're going through a mental problem, if they survive a disaster, if they have something medical going on, if they lose a family member or a loved one. That's what people mean when they say they'll be there for you if you're in trouble. When people say they'll be there for you if you're in trouble, that does not mean they're going to support you stalking a woman for like 8 years and also your husband sexually assaulting a woman. That is not what being there for someone in trouble means.
I told you not to do that. You were like, well, that's fine, she's guilty. Even though there's evidence to say...
Where? Where? Here's the evidence. Here's the evidence. All you have proven is that your main points was that Emily had been in 8 abusive relationships and she had a drug problem and she was a webcam girl. And then you showed screenshots of what? Accounts that were being of her being a shitty person. That's fine. Nothing you can say about her character, even if she's correct, even if you are correct and she's fatphobic, racist, and did all that shit, it does not matter. I'm sorry to say it does not matter. Of course, you shouldn't be racist and you shouldn't be homophobic and you shouldn't be fatphobic and you shouldn't bully people online, but none of that is an excuse for her to be sexually assaulted. It's not. And you bringing in your personal history, your shaky story, lying about certain things on here, like the thing with your brother / cousin, the thing with your sister, the thing with your parents, all that stuff that you are bringing to this, and these people that you are vindictively like attacking at the end of your video, they all make you look worse. With each chapter, this is 18 parts. With each part, you look worse. You look worse and worse with each chapter.
Say I'm not, and no evidence to say I am.
I'm not. I know she did this and sat back like that when she said, I am not, and there is no evidence I did. Like, I fucking did that. Like, hell yeah. They don't have shit on me.
To the people who reached out, who said, I don't care if you did it.
If she is about to say, this subtitle, if she is about to say, I love you, to the people who said, I don't care if your husband is a rapist, and I don't care if you stalked a woman for, like, multiple years, I'm going to lose it.
Still love your content. Don't leave YouTube. I love you. You're weird.
You are weird. If you're out there and a woman is being accused and proven to have stalked another woman and her husband had sexually assaulted her, and you're weird. You're a weirdo.
Don't say that to me ever fucking again. Do not reach out to me ever again.
Wait, hold on.
That is not comforting. I spent all my time trying to help victims of what I was actually accused of. And to be told that my audience doesn't care about that.
Wait, hold on.
Fuck it. Just fuck that forgiveness right off.
Hold on. What does she say?
You are just as bad as Emily, if not worse, for supporting a mob with no evidence while claiming to do all this research and claiming to care about your friends or anything. I talked to you so many times, and you once cried on stream saying if Shannon was in trouble, she would tell me not to defend her because she's a good person. And when I told you not to do that, you were like, well, that's fine, she's guilty. Even though there's evidence to say I'm not, and no evidence to say I am.
She's spiraling, but what is she saying at the same part?
To the people who reached out, who said, I don't care if you did it, I love.
To the people who reached out that messaged me and said, I don't care if you did it, I love you.
Still love your content, don't leave YouTube, I love you.
Still love your content, don't leave YouTube, I love you.
You're weird. Don't say that to me ever. Fuck.
So she's saying that people were telling her, I don't care if your husband is a rapist and you stalked a woman, I still love you, love your content. So people that were supporting her basically to go fuck themselves, and people who didn't support her go fuck themselves. She just wanted people to message her and emphatically say, yeah, 100%, I know you couldn't have done this, you definitely didn't do this.
And again, do not reach out to me ever again. That is not comforting.
She's gonna want that. She's gonna want that support of people saying, I don't care if you did do it, because she did. She's gonna want people saying, I don't care if you did it, we'll still stick by you. Or she's gonna have no one.
Spent all my time trying to help victims of what I was actually accused of, and to be told.
When were you helping people being accused of stalking?
that my audience doesn't care about that is insane.
This ends in 15 seconds. I'm so nervous.
To the people who told me better.
That is fucked up. Is she gonna say better luck next time? That is fucked up. That people were telling her to like have a miscarriage and like kill herself. That is fucked up.
Better luck next time. Thanks for playing. And to everyone else, go touch some fucking grass. I am done. I'm fucking done.
Oh, she's got some nerve telling people to touch grass. Baby girl, you got some nerve. Girl, you got some nerve. Okay, I want to compare some comments. It's mostly people saying, why are you bringing up her past and things that don't matter? Emily dropped a toothpaste cap in the sink when she was 5. Truly the act of a malicious person. She has claimed before to hate cancel culture, and then she digs shit up from the past to someone she doesn't like to make them look bad. You know, like cancel culture. I'm not a stalker. Finds and shares Emily's online journal entries from when she was literally 13. When she was a child. Emily admitted and talked about for 20 minutes how she wasn't a great person in the past, but she was still a teenager and she's an adult now. Emily does say that in her video. She says, you know what? I'm not the most perfect person. I have a problem with drugs. I got into some relationships that were not a good idea to be in, and I have had issues in the past. This bitch did not take accountability for anything except maybe saying that she overreacted when she messaged her sister for a little bit. Talking about her husband in a way is mean and ableist. It wasn't her husband. It was their like friend or something. Because the friend who was autistic said that he would kidnap and kill Emily. And Emily was like, I don't like that. And Shannon like screamed ableism at that. This video is more of a character assassination than a defense. You literally just proved Emily is right with this. 2 hours and 31 minutes of Shannon confessing to being a stalker. Oh my god. Yeah, even if you can't see the dislikes, the creator can. Emily Artful is accusing me of being a cyber stalker. Good thing I've been documenting all of her online activity for the past 10 years so I can prove her wrong. Oh my god. We must have skipped this part where she said in middle school she had a crush on her teacher, but that's even shittier. Because what kid in middle school didn't have a crush on their teacher? And what does that have to do with anything, you know? Yeah, she has so... And I want to say that she used the 6 months from Emily's video to now. I want to say she used the 6 months. It's possible she used that time to like get all of this evidence and get all this together. But I feel like some of this has got to be like she just had it. Like people who keep screenshots of text conversations from years ago, like Gabby Hanna. Like the Jessie Smiles and Gabby Hanna shit. I feel like she had these in her back pocket and she was just waiting. She was just ready. Yeah, she doesn't care about saving her YouTube career. She cares about hurting Emily. She cares way more about hurting Emily than she gives a fuck about actually proving her innocence or anything like that. Yeah, at least Emily admitted she wasn't ashamed. She had issues with drugs. She had issues with being in bad relationships. And she is not taking accountability. She's just placing blame like she did nothing wrong at all. Emily is guilty of some things. That doesn't make you innocent of all things. I'm glad. Yeah, I was worried when I went to the comments that people were going to be praising her, but they're not. They're really not. It is. And the way she is talking about Emily and the way she's talking about these people who, in her eyes, wronged her just because they either established boundaries or something is crazy. It is crazy. It is so crazy. The way she's talking about her and the way she is acting. I know this woman is not telling anyone to touch grass. Let's read this. Let's read this. This is perfect. I know this woman isn't telling anyone to touch grass while permaglued in front of a computer screen recording an entire motion picture documentary of what appears to be her arch nemesis Emily's life from childhood. You literally could have been enjoying your marriage and spending time with your family and friends. Activities people who do in fact touch grass and engage in, by the way, yet chose to record this disaster and spit what appears to be days, if not weeks, worth of research, all to make a hit piece on someone you hate. Seems like someone's a bit obsessed, but what do I know? I don't spend hours frolicking in fields of grass like Shannon. This also, I didn't say it at the time, but this is crazy. Her room in her father's house has bright pink walls, and the rest of the house has a kind of muted wallpaper. That stopped me dead in my tracks. Chills. I have a couple of best friends that I've known since high school, and a couple of best friends that I've known since like middle school, elementary school. I can't tell you their parents' eye color or their bedroom that they've lived in nearly all their life's color. I can't tell you their favorite color. I really can't. The fact that she said that was very creepy. It is crazy. It's really crazy. I agree. I'm glad no one's trying to defend her. The bottom line, it proves that the stalking and harassment. Bottom line, it proves the stalking and harassment at the very least. Excuse me. And let me see. That was right. They had revenge porn of her. They had revenge porn of Emily. Okay, so let's just as a comparison, let's look at the comments on this post. Shitting on Anthony. No words. So sorry. This is a whole crime. You fawn or be kind to potentially dangerous people in order to avoid getting hurt. What did I say? It's common, so you're not strange for doing it. Don't apologize for ableist language, which she admits she used ableist language. I watched the whole thing, but she goes into it and she talks a little bit about how like she doesn't want to say that this guy was threatening her because he's autistic, but it is important to say that he was threatening her regardless of him being autistic. Emily, you're so strong. A bunch of survivors and victims coming to her support. When I watched Shannon's video about being stalked, I noticed the only emotion displayed was anger. Unlike you, who actually got emotional, which same for this one. She was so angry. She was so pissed off and angry. There was no emotion, no empathy, nothing. Notice how at 1:42:52, Shannon says, if it ends up being not us, if and not when, definitely an interesting way for her to frame that. Wouldn't someone sure of their own innocence say when, especially to reaffirm and be adamant that they weren't involved? This and the whole thing where she's going on about it in hypothetical as some sort of way to simulate empathy is very odd behavior. Narcissism. Detached narcissism. If it ends up not being us, an innocent person would not say this. In conclusion, she's a horrible person. Shannon and Anthony took away the joy from years of your life. I always got a bad vibe from Shannon's channel. There's a lot of these. I don't believe all of them, but there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I never liked Shannon. I was never a fan of her. She's crazy. But the self-deprecation did feel like overcompensation in order to feign authenticity. That is true. All of her stuff felt personal. She inserted her own thoughts using hyperbolic language. Irritated when she'd do this with years of old discourse, aka beating a dead horse for views. Her language and tone wasn't quirky. High and mighty. Red flag, her utter refusal to diversify and improve her art. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with this personally, because art style and the way you find art attractive to you is very subjective. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say anything about her art. Horrified by the locale situation. There's all this stuff is, this made me cry. One thing I picked up in the voices of Shannon, Anthony, and Britta filter they love saying, essentially at the beginning of their sentences. 8 years, I was right. 8 years that we know of. Stress, horror, and trauma you had to endure. Had to rewatch it multiple times. So sorry you've been through this. You didn't go after revenge. You didn't sink to their level. You took the high road. You're strong. I went to high school with Shannon and she struggled with the truth then too. I'm so sorry you went through this and hopefully it'll help. You can really hear the joy in her voice when talking about her son. Absolutely insane and cruel. Sorry you had to go through this. So the difference between the comment sections are way different and way kinder and more receptive. And this is 2 hours long. So if Emily is providing a 2 hour long video about stuff, which it is proof of shit she went through. So proof just like 2 full hours of evidence and her talking about her feelings and her experiences. And the other one of Shannon's was 2.5 hours of her blaming other people, scolding her audience and her community, and just overall being a shitty human being. So 4 hours later, which I wanted this to just be 2.5 hours, but whatever. I'll probably edit quite a bit out for YouTube, but thank you anyone who is watching currently now on YouTube, and thank you anyone who watched, who came to the stream. I really appreciate it. That's gonna be all for today. Thank you everyone who came by and talked shit about Shannon with me. I hope my video does not get striked out on YouTube by her, but anyways, I love you guys so much and have a great rest of your day. Technically night. Wow, I cannot thank you guys enough for being patient with me while I've been getting through this edit. It went from a 4.5 hour long live stream to a 3 hour long video that I then cut into, I want to say 3 or 4 separate parts, because I didn't want to just upload a 3 hour long video that everyone had to commit to. I wanted to give you guys some variety and that you could do separate parts and enjoy it at your own schedule. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. It's taken weeks to do this. I just had other projects get in the way. I started streaming full-time, as well as doing YouTube full-time and doing art. So my schedule is a little bit busier. Schedule this one live stream has just taken me forever to edit. You can also kind of consider this a face reveal. Nothing was set up at the time I was recording this. I just had to quickly react at the time because I knew that editing the stream and getting the parts out was going to take forever. So I was just using the default webcam and the default lighting and everything I just had at hand, and I shoved a hat on my head because my hair was really greasy and I hadn't washed it in forever. So once again, thank you guys for your comments, your support, the views, the likes, subscribing, everything, all of it. I see all of it. I try to comment and react and respond to everyone I can. But thanks once again for being here and have a great day. Bye. 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 Bye.
She's the